deception in the CIA is running widespread. Beware of any alleged Skype videos of me running around. These CIA are masters of deception and lying and disinformation and distortion. Remember, these are the main things they're good at. If they can convince the public that I'm mentally ill, then that should tell you right there. If you got stuff showing up to you in any way at all that is telling you that he's mentally ill, or anyone suggesting this, step back and look at who's telling you this. Because I will promise you, I'll bet you $20 that person is CIA. And it's them. It's them. I'm telling you right here and now. I'm telling you. It's the same tactic they played on me back in high school, where they had Joe Walker, this counselor, screwing up my permanent record. And she has been found to be CIA. I have proven this. Now, I can't show that proof to you on video, and I'd rather not show you how I got it. I won't do that, but just know that the mental health issue is always played on this case. They did it so that the permanent record in the school would be messed up so badly that Joe would end up writing all that in my record for my mother. Annette would read it, and she would end up feeling that I was probably questioning my mind at the time, my sanity. Well, they're doing it again. They're playing that one again. They're running around with that same old Jason's mentally ill, Jason's crazy tactic, don't deal with him. And it's a means to, what I have seen, I can't tell you how I've seen it or obtained it, but the documentation clearly reads, isolate the target, Jason Moss. Keep him from the Gilardi Funicello family. Lie to that family, convince the family he's insane or he's out of his mind. Keep enforcing the non-disclosure agreements against the family and threaten the family. Family is in grave danger. They're in big trouble. The CIA are dealing with these people, and they are deceptive. They're not. There's no reason for the cover-up anymore, to be honest. Not the way that they might have thought it. Not that there ever was a reason for this. Basically what's going on is that they have this predatory nature about them, where it's just for the thrill, the hunt, the game of winning. It has nothing to do with, it has a purpose, but not a reason behind it. And their purpose is just to win the game. They've got some they've got some people working for them in the agency that are bright-minded people with educations that are shining in light on the walls, big time. But who's running these people behind them are often men who have a background of rape and assault against these people. You often deal with women. They're kind of the foot soldiers of the CIA. It's like some of these people that are whistleblowers are talking, listen to them. They use pretty women. A lot of these women end up with a lot of high education, and the men that are running them are idiots. They're morons. One of the weaknesses of the CIA itself is the fact that they don't want women. They don't treat them as equally. Men are often the ones who run the show, but these are idiots. These are men of low class, low background. They're rapists. They've got sociopathic disorders, dissociative personality disorders. They may have high rank in the agency, and they control these women through sexual torture and manipulation and extortion and blackmail. These women have got careers, got families. They're often psychiatrists, doctors, psychologists, therapists, things like this. And they've got a lot to lose. These guys go out and rape the crap out of them and take pictures and videos of this and tell them, if you don't do as I say, I'm going to put this all over the internet. And then they remind them of their fact they work for the CIA. We own you. The attitude is we own you. The 13th Amendment of the United States of America abolished all slavery under President Abraham Lincoln after the Civil War. don't own anybody. You don't own it. No agency, therefore, in the United States should ever claim ownership of another human being. That is an act of slavery. It is a violation of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. The basic rights of these employees within the agency itself are being violated and smashed against the wall. I mean, it's all well and good to talk about the victims, like myself of Project MKULTRA and Project Monarch, but we're also negating the fact that there are people within the agency itself that are handcuffed against the wall. There are, I don't know how many, there could be hundreds, there could be thousands of women sitting in there right now who are in fact frightened and are just, they have to do as they're told. You often hear them saying, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, like some mindless drone. In the meantime, wreck your life, run you down with people around you on Facebook and social sites and try to paint you up as being something of a lunatic. I was a security officer for Group 4 Security for 3 years. I guarded a site down the street from me that's worth $500 million, 12-hour shifts, and I guarded it all by myself. And I have a spotless record with that company. It's the same company that guards the Pentagon. Okay, you, the viewer, decide for yourself if that's a mentally ill person with a spotless record like that. And I can show that through references. I've got an outstandingly solid gold reputation with that company. I'm still under the pension scheme until the age 65. Okay, I'm a former security officer with Static Security Sergeant, not an officer, Static Security Sergeant, which is higher rank. Not just some security officer in a grocery store or in a clothing outlet or J.C. Penney. I was guarding an insurance company that had half a billion dollars worth of assets and money sitting inside the building, and I was guarding it day and night all alone. Now, if you doubt that I can bring you proof. I can show you this. But my word is solid gold. Solid rock, solid gold. That's my reputation. What's yours? That's what I say to all that crowd. What's your reputation? What have you got? You can't even tell the public who you are. You can't even reveal that you work for the agency. You can't even tell them who you are. You can't even do this. I'm telling you the gospel truth, so help me God and Jesus Christ. I'm telling you the gospel truth in my videos. I'm telling you as a whistleblower, this is what happened to me. I'm a victim of Project MKUltra. I'm a victim. So is my mother, Annette, and that family out there. Sweet Jesus Christ, God Almighty, help us all. I'm not wrecking that woman's career in any way at all. I'm helping, I'm saving. And if I hadn't said anything, and I know this, I very much know this, even though I'm not seen by millions, I know they're watching me, and I know that if I'd kept my mouth shut, in the last 2 years since her passing in April 2013, they would have destroyed what's left of her. They would have scandalized her up so badly at this point, through lies and deception. Again, nothing that I'm saying is in any way an attempt to make her look good. I'm only bringing you the truth of the situation. She didn't do anything wrong. Nothing. Our contact ended in 1992. Sadly, it came to an end. The CIA got in the middle of that contact and ended it. Of course, Mother didn't like to be told what to do, and so she told me that it was her choice and decision. She says, I like to lead my life my way. She says, I lead my life, I make choices. But I think, in a sense, she was protecting the asset of the agency. She was protecting me from getting angry with the agency, not protecting the assets of the agency. She was protecting me from getting angry with them. And I think if you work in Hollywood and you've been a celebrity and you've been down in Tinseltown, and 90% of these people will agree with this, as many have already come forward and said, you can't be in Hollywood and be a celebrity without rubbing elbows with the CIA. As I sat here and before my video said, I'm a logical, rational-minded person. I'm not sitting here saying, dismantle the CIA. I'm not doing that. I'm saying that there is corruption there that is widespread and very dangerous. as even she said herself in her experience in dealing with some of the friends who worked in the agency, there's good and bad there that happen to be in the agency itself. And even in my videos, I've been reaching out to these people. You need to come forward. You need to talk. You need to get out from behind this crap and have a life for once. Because technically, you're slaves. You are slaves. They are violating the 13th Amendment. They are. If you feel that you haven't got the freedom of speech enough to say, I don't like that man doing that to me, or that I have been sexually assaulted and harmed, and I feel if I come forward they're going to retaliate against my family, my life, my livelihood, and my image and my career, then you're a slave. You are a slave. And that predatory nature is instinctive in human beings. And it seems prevalent in this species. They seem to get rid of it in the Civil War, only a century later to revive it again in the 20th century through Project MKULTRA Monarch. It is strange to me that a nation would do something like this. It is unusual. It is a peculiar behavior for such a people on that side of the planet to do something like this. It is an unusual contradiction after the bloodshed in the 1860s that freed so many people at one hand, but a century later, they can't get it out of their system. They've got to have that animal, primal, savage instinct of control over the weaker and most vulnerable side of their species, which is often the female or the women. This is an unusual behavior, one that I think is observed by others out there, often noted and seen. Whether or not you believe alien abductions are taking place, and you think that's happening to people on this planet, and you wonder why there are so many millions who are being taken, often you think it's simply for genetic reasons, and people have very little memory of the experience. Just the fact they were there and this happened, and they were on a table. Imagine a technology for a minute. You don't have to think this is real or not, but assuming it were for the sake of, say, argument, exactly what would they be doing with those millions and millions of people? That's really curious, isn't it? Why would you need millions when you've got when you basically would have the whole genome of the human race at this point? Unless, of course, they had some way of probing your mind in a way that is far more advanced than your psychologists and lie detectors can do. Every individual is taken at this point, and their minds are probed and analyzed to get the psychology of the human race, to get some idea of how we're interacting with each other would require many millions and millions of abductions. Now, you wouldn't even know that's happening. You may have memories of getting a probe stuck in your eye or your ear or the back of your head. Unlike this civilization on Earth has to interview each other through verbal contact and watch the body language and hear things. Imagine a probe that can do this in seconds. Yes, then you would need millions and millions. Then you'd get some idea about the civilization, what's happening. Something to ponder with. It's one of those hypotheticals. And what would they be learning at this point, I wonder? What would be their conclusions and findings about this civilization? And in spite of the technological advancements, there's still a great deal of savage, barbaric behavior amongst the female of their species. They seem to continue with this rampantly. This need for control over what they see as inferior beings around them. There are beings in the galaxy that are maybe smaller in size and inferior to the human race. Would the human race be ready for that contact with those civilizations? No. They would enslave them. It is something to think about.